His revolutionary approach to faith, politics, and social justice has shocked the world, making Pope Francis the most powerful religious leader of our time. Did you know, though, that beneath the papal robes and the lofty speeches, there is a man who has endured unfathomable hardships, scandals, and wars for his very survival? The extraordinary journey of Pope Francis from his modest origins in Argentina to shaping the future of the Catholic Church is truly remarkable. One of the most talked about figures of the 21st century, his papacy has sparked global debates on everything from climate change to LGBTQ plus rights. Pope Francis is a leader. What gave him that gift? During his reign, what were the hidden challenges and triumphs? In this video, we will explore the hidden life of Pope Francis, revealing the surprising events that catapulted him from a modest priest into a revered figure around the world. Make sure you don't miss out on this. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, better known as Pope Francis, was born on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He is widely considered to be one of the most consequential people of this century. Significant reform and change have been brought about by him, the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, to the Church and the world at large. It is truly astonishing how he made it from Buenos Aires streets to the Vatican. Coming from a working-class neighborhood, he rose to become the first Pope from the Americas, the first non-European Pope in more than 1,000 years, and the first Jesuit. His life is a testament to unfaltering faith, devotion, and a profound dedication to the downtrodden. Pope Francis, however, is a leader in the Catholic Church and beyond. He embodies the values of social justice, inclusivity, and environmental responsibility, and he is a symbol of compassion and hope. Throughout his time as Pope, he has urged Christians to put aside their differences and embrace a more humane worldview that prioritizes love and compassion above all else. He has received adulation from people of all faiths and cultures all over the world because of his teachings and deeds. The humble and affable Pope Francis has made a name for himself by stressing time and again the value of a simple life, selfless service to others, and active faith. Under his leadership, the Catholic Church has taken a new stance on pressing social issues, including poverty, global warming, LGBTQ plus equality, and refugee policy. The Church has made great strides under his leadership to promote a more welcoming and caring international society. Pope Francis's life, however, is defined by more than just his tenure as Pope. His time in Argentina's clergy as a priest, bishop, and cardinal formed his perspective on poverty alleviation and social justice. His profound dedication to justice and human rights was molded by his encounters with the tumultuous political history of Argentina during the Dirty War in the 1970s. The man's commitment to creating a better world for everyone is driven by his personal struggles and the struggles he has witnessed innumerable people go through. In this video, we will delve into the remarkable life of Pope Francis, his efforts to reform the Catholic Church, his impact as a global leader, and the significant moments that have shaped his path. Come explore the life and legacy of a man who revolutionized the Catholic Church and the globe with us as we delve into the compelling tale of a modern-day great. Mario and Regina Bergoglio, who were immigrants from Italy, had a son named Jorge Mario in Buenos Aires. Coming from a working-class background, he learned early on the importance of putting in long hours and making sacrifices. He was born into humble circumstances in the Flores neighborhood and educated about the struggles of the impoverished through his public school education. He became the priest he is today because his parents instilled in him the values of faith and humility. Bergoglio felt a calling to the priesthood when he was a young man. When he was 22 years old in 1958, he became a member of the Jesuit order known as the Society of Jesus. Education, social justice, and helping the poor were central to the Jesuits' mission, which struck a chord with Bergoglio's own values. In addition to his chemistry degree, he devoted a great deal of time to spiritual development, reading philosophical works and theological texts. Despite his dedication to academia, he stood out for his profound empathy for the poor and other marginalized communities. Bergoglio was a leader and educator in Argentina during his tenure as a Jesuit. His intelligence, self-control, and compassion made him famous. After being ordained a priest in 1969, he advanced rapidly through the Jesuit order's ranks. During his tenure as provincial superior of the Jesuit order in Argentina, he had ample opportunity to contemplate the political upheaval that characterized the Dirty War, a savage military dictatorship that lasted from 1976 to 1983. The events of that time would have a profound impact on Pope Francis's papacy to come. As he rose to prominence in the Catholic Church, his views on social justice would continue to change, but he was a vocal opponent of the dictatorship's human rights violations. His detractors have occasionally cited his behavior during the dictatorship, asserting that he failed to adequately safeguard victims as evidence that his journey was not devoid of controversy. Pope Francis has tried to make amends, recognizing the complexity of the time and stressing the importance of healing and reconciliation. The most prominent position in the Argentine Catholic Church, the Archbishop of Buenos Aires, was bestowed upon Bergoglio in 1998. As Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he was devoted to pastoral care, especially for the city's impoverished and oppressed people. The personal humility of Pope Francis was on full display when he frequently opted to live in a modest flat rather than the Archbishop's mansion, took public transportation, and paid personal visits to the sick and impoverished in his community. He became even more politically and socially active during his stay in Buenos Aires. In his fight for greater social justice, he became an outspoken critic of the affluent and an ardent supporter of the rights of the homeless and the poor. This was in line with his Jesuit education, which taught him to seek out and help those at the bottom of society's ladder, and to fight for social justice. As Archbishop, Bergoglio's leadership style was well respected in Argentina and beyond. A man of profound humility, he was known for his no-nonsense approach to church reform and his penchant for earnest prayer. Because of his influential leadership in Buenos Aires, the Vatican took notice, and in 2001, Pope John Paul II made him a cardinal. Many took Bergoglio's ascension to the position as an indication of his growing influence within the Catholic Church. Bergoglio was prepared to be considered for the position of Pope after the death of Pope John Paul II in 2005. In the 2005 conclave that chose Pope Benedict XVI, he was a candidate, but Benedict was ultimately chosen. Regardless, Bergoglio persisted in his roles as Archbishop and Cardinal, subtly but surely leaving his imprint on the inner workings of the Church. The news of Pope Benedict XVI's resignation in 2013 was shocking to everyone. After more than 600 years, the Pope resigned for the first time. In the midst of the world's anticipation for a new Pope, the College of Cardinals convened in the Sistine Chapel to select a successor. Many thought Cardinal Bergoglio had little chance of winning, but his name was brought up again as a candidate. Cardinals were seeking a new leader who could infuse the Church with new ideas and reform it amid mounting scandals and internal strife. The new Pope was elected on March 13, 2013, with only 5 ballots cast, as white smoke billowed from the Vatican chimney. Jorge Mario Bergoglio's announcement as Pope Francis shocked the world. He was 76 years old when he was elected, and the Catholic Church saw a major change with his selection. He was the first Latin American Pope, the first Pope to be ordained as a Jesuit, and the first to be named Francis, after the renowned Francis of Assisi, who was revered for his humility, compassion, and dedication to promoting world peace. The Church felt a new lease of life with the election of Pope Francis. His modesty, openness, and demands for change touched the hearts of millions of Catholics and individuals all over the globe. His urgent plea for a more empathetic and welcoming church, one that would aid the downtrodden, welcome the rejected, and construct bridges instead of walls, had an immediate and profound effect. Immediate and daring actions were taken by Pope Francis within the Catholic Church. As one of his initial moves, he established a new commission to reform the Vatican and make the Church's financial dealings more open and accountable. In addition, he established a commission to deal with the long simmering and tragic problem of sexual abuse within the Church. His unwavering dedication to seeking justice for victims has been met with both admiration and criticism for his courageous efforts to confront this issue directly. Along with his internal reforms, Pope Francis has been an ardent champion for global social issues. During his pontificate, he has prioritized fighting poverty, inequality, environmental degradation, and war. Laudato Si, his seminal encyclical, emphasized the critical importance of addressing climate change and protecting the environment. Pope Francis emphasized the need for a worldwide effort to help the planet and its people, especially the impoverished, and urged a re-evaluation of our economic systems. In addition to his vocal support for immigrants and refugees, Pope Francis has urged nations to welcome people escaping persecution and war. Due to the fact that his views challenge many political systems' status quo, his demands for more empathy and compassion have been met with both support and opposition. But people all over the globe respect him for standing up for society's most defenseless members. The Church has also been divided over his position on LGBTQ+ issues. The Pope has upheld the Church's long-held views on marriage and sexuality, but he has also called for more tolerance and understanding of the LGBTQ+ community. "Who am I to pass judgment?" he asked. There was a marked change towards a more accepting interpretation of Church teachings when the phrase "homosexual people living with dignity" generated extensive discussion and debate. Under Pope Francis's leadership, the Church has been undergoing reform, and he has worked ceaselessly to promote diplomacy and peace in a world where violence and conflict are on the rise. The Pope, as one of the most powerful people in the world, has been an outspoken advocate for religious and political leaders around the world to put an end to war and promote unity instead of division. When Pope Francis was instrumental in the historic thawing of relations between Cuba and the US, his diplomatic career took a giant leap forward. After decades of animosity, his behind-the-scenes work was instrumental in re-establishing diplomatic relations between the two countries. He met with US encouraging dialogue as a means to resolve global disputes. Pope Francis met with President Barack Obama and Cuban President Raúl Castro. Many saw his intervention as a watershed point in diplomatic history that demonstrated his faith in the transformational potential of conversation. Regarding the Middle East, and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in particular, Pope Francis has displayed an unusual combination of moral clarity and diplomacy. He has been vocal in his support for a two-state solution and in his calls for direct negotiations between the warring parties in the region. His efforts to mediate peace talks between the Palestinians and the Israelis are emblematic of his larger mission to foster understanding and tolerance among people of different religious and cultural backgrounds. As a world leader, the Pope has been involved in more than just political diplomacy. Millions of people all over the globe, particularly in war zones, have found great solace in his message of solidarity and optimism. Pope Francis has visited the Holy Land and Iraq on multiple occasions, where he has met with religious authorities and civilians who have lost loved ones in the conflict. His humanitarian and solidarity-based visits have served as a global reminder of the critical need for communities based on love and respect for one another. Pope Francis has been the target of much criticism and controversy despite his immense popularity. His demands for church reform have been met with skepticism from some who see them as an assault on established doctrine and Vatican power. Some conservative groups within the church have taken offense to his liberal views on social justice and climate change. Disagreements regarding church teachings, including those concerning LGBTQ+ rights, remarriage, and mercy and compassion, have arisen as a result of his teachings. The way Pope Francis has dealt with the Church's continuing sexual abuse crisis has also drawn criticism. Some who have spoken out for victims feel he has not gone far enough in his attempts to reform the Church and hold bishops responsible for the abuses that have occurred within it. During his papacy, the Vatican's response to the crisis has been a hotly debated topic, with some criticizing his delay in taking stronger measures. But Pope Francis has always been bold in addressing these problems directly. He has spoken out against the Church's shortcomings and apologized profusely for the pain that abusive clergy have caused. His public apologies and pledge to reform the Church systemically show that he wants to fix an institution that has been scandal-ridden for decades. Although his detractors claim he hasn't done enough, his advocates insist he is heading in the correct direction despite the obstacles. Pope Francis has been an exemplary model of humility, compassion, and reform throughout his waning years in office. His health has been a major worry, particularly since he was hospitalized in early 2025 for kidney failure and double pneumonia. In spite of all this, Pope Francis has demonstrated remarkable fortitude by carrying out his responsibilities as leader of the Catholic Church, even as he struggles with his health. A watershed moment in his papacy occurred on Easter Sunday, April 20, 2025, when he appeared to deliver his last Urbi et Orbi blessing. The Pope's determination to address the faithful, despite medical advice to the contrary, demonstrated his strong bond to the Church and his dogged persistence in carrying out his mission. His strength and resolve were on display in this last opportunity to connect with the people he had served so selflessly for so long. Many have wondered what will happen to the Church in light of Pope Francis's health problems and whether a papal conclave will be called to choose his successor. The world is still reeling from his untimely death in April 2025, but his impact as a pope championing social justice, peace, and reform will surely last for years to come. Pope Francis bravely fought health problems for a long time before he passed away on April 21, 2025 at the age of 88. His passing was a global shock, and millions of people are grieving the loss of a spiritual leader who stood for tolerance and change. He contemplated and prayed his last days before passing away at his residence in the Vatican. In the days after Pope Francis's death, many people, including heads of state, prominent religious figures, and regular citizens, remembered him and thought about the difference he had made in the world. His passing ushered in a new era at the Vatican, but his ideals and teachings will live on in the hearts and minds of those who come after him. The Church under Pope Francis's leadership has experienced profound change, and his impact on global concerns such as social justice and climate change will be felt for a long time. The Catholic Church must now begin the process of choosing a new leader following Pope Francis's death. Cardinals from all over the globe will convene in the Sistine Chapel for a papal conclave to choose a new pope from May 6th to the 11th, 2025. As the Church deals with Pope Francis's legacy and future problems, this conclave is a watershed moment. Continuing Pope Francis's reforms, addressing continuing global crises, and inspiring a new generation of Catholics will be a monumental task for his successor. Similarly to how Pope Francis shaped the Church, the next pope will have to deal with the problems of modernity while also balancing tradition and the need for progress. Pope Francis's legacy is a potent reminder of the significance of faith, love, and service to others, and the world is eagerly anticipating the selection of a new pope. The role of a Catholic leader in the modern era has been transformed by his papacy, and his impact will be felt for years to come.